Here at 10mm, we have adopted simple principles we find inescapable. There are a number of these. This one is called Own and Offer. We begin by pointing out that you will own a number of things in your lifetime. You may have cars, houses, clothes, and prized possessions, and you will have a variety of relationships too. And yet, all of these will be of a transient nature at best. Most possessions will become worn out and be passed on, if not junked entirely. Sure, the odd item you will leave to your kids as family heirlooms, undoubtedly. And relationships, even the good ones, last only as long as they do. But a deeper truth reveals itself if we look. You own only 3 things in life. As an adult, you own how you think, how you feel, and how you act. All the rest comes and goes in whatever forms and representations fit the circumstances. But these 3, thoughts, feelings, and behavior, remain yours forevermore. This is an irrefutable truth. Think for a moment, if these are not yours, whose are they? Your parents? Your spouse? Partner? Friend? Is society at large responsible for how you feel, think, and behave? No. It is time to permanently let go of external influences, as now you can easily see how it doesn't work any other way. While it is true that marketers and advertisers seek ways to brainwash and hypnotize you, at times with deeply implanted suggestions, it is also a fact that ultimately your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are your full responsibility. The system, like I said, doesn't work any other way. Of course, the question of free will arises here. So let's talk a little bit about something we call autopilot. Want to know why free will seems to escape most of us? Stop beating yourself up, because you live automatically most of the time. In fact, we all do. The aforementioned marketers know all about this. You have a brain and brainstem, a spinal cord, and peripheral nerves to your musculature, and 2 parts of the internal vagus nerve, the dorsal and ventral. This is your integrated nervous system. You can well imagine what an evolutionary advantage it is to have an adaptable system committed to running things. No one wants to have to think about walking, using the washroom, chewing or swallowing, or waking up each morning. The nervous system just takes care of it for you and for me. It is like how a pilot on a transatlantic flight uses autopilot. The captain flying the plane handles takeoffs and landings, and in the event of turbulence or a storm, any emergencies. The rest of the time, the plane flies itself while programmed based on vast prior data sets formed into precise probabilities. It works in a similar way in humans. Like the plane's autopilot system responding to conditions and programming, your integrated nervous system is trained to meet your biological needs and, by experiences, to deny, distort, and repress inner and or outer reality to lessen anxiety and depression. Every second you take in millions of bits of sensory information into the brain and body. The skin is your largest organ. Most times you're aware of a tiny portion of this massive data overwhelm, something like just 50 bits per second. It's no wonder people tend to let the system run itself. The difference is that with a long-distance plane, autopilot must be purposely switched on. In the case of humans like you and I, the default setting is a predictive brain running on autopilot, which means that all you get in the way of free will is an override. You get a free won't. The ability to use awareness to switch off autopilot and take over the controls. And with awareness comes the possibility of change. You better make good use of it. The best way we know is to take full responsibility for how we think, feel, and behave. 100% responsibility. If we think something, it is ours. If we feel something, these are my feelings. If I act in a certain way, good or bad, I own it. You can't make me think, feel, or behave anything. If you could, that would make me your puppet. Tell yourself right now, not going to happen. And further, not on my watch. I'm nobody's puppet. Awareness. Let's now turn to what you have to offer. I know, Mom insisted you could be anything you wanted. If your mom said that to you, bless her heart. There's some truth to it. I'll show you how to increase those odds with the Own and Offer Shield. We live in an overwhelmingly complex world, yet somehow you need to find your way. I can assure you that this will be far easier now that you are completely responsible for your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Next is to take yourself out into the world and make an impact. You have 3 things, again, for which you are responsible and for which you have to offer. These are your time, your talent, and your effort. Everything derives from these 3 forces of nature. In a 4.5 billion-year-old planetary system, you will exist in but a single century. Let's say you lived an average of 80 years. You can do better, but it's a start. There are 31.5 million seconds in a year. That cuts down to just over 525,000 minutes. In hours, it's about 8760 per year. You need to sleep a third of them, so minus close to 3K, leaving you with about 5840 hours per year. If you are 30 years old, perhaps you have 292,000 hours left. If you are 65, you're down to 87,600 hours remaining. No wonder all of us old fuckers are trying to live to 100. The point is, time is finite, and it's important to ask, what are you doing with your time? When you're a kid, time stretches out before you. If you get out of school in June, September's return is unfathomable. You think of next Christmas in January, and it seems like forever away. But as we age, time seems to speed up. A friend says it's because the slices of the time pie get smaller, maybe. But soon what was a year seems like a season or 2. Later, a season feels like a month. It seems cruel to think of when a month will feel like a week, or a week will feel like a day. A day goes by as if it was a morning and nothing more. It makes me think of old folks being flung into space by a rapidly spinning planet. You have your time to offer. You also have your talent. You have potentials and possibilities, things you are either already good at or which you could become better at if you worked at it, if you put in the time. That's something we'll talk more about in a later shield. Suffice it to say, you will have strengths and weaknesses. Life is short. Play to your strengths. In addition to time and talent, you have your efforts to offer the world. What if you adopted a rule for yourself that said, no one outworks me? What might that do for you and the people around you? Time, talent, and effort are the great equalizers. No matter what someone's background, with just a little luck and by taking full responsibility for time, talent, and effort, an individual can fulfill something of Mom's promise to be anything I want. Own your thoughts, feelings, and behavior. Use your time, talent, and effort wisely. The Own and Offer Shield. Let it protect you.